Hey guys, it's Karen with White's Creative Designs. I just wanted to hop on and post a little tutorial about how I paint beads. The beads are super easy to paint. They come with a lot of my tier tray kits. So I just wanted to kind of give a tutorial of how those would be painted. So when you get yours, you can do them. You can do them any color you want. So I will show you two different ways to do those. One, we're going to paint them. So what you're going to want to have is some kind of acrylic paint. I like to use just the little bathroom cups. You can also use like a little styrofoam bowl or something like that. I usually like to use something that's disposable that I don't have to use again, and something that's a little bit deeper so you can really spin those beads around. So and have just a little bit of water, not much, and my cup's not dirty. Well, the cup's dirty, but the water's not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to take just my little skewer, and all I've got is a wooden skewer. You can use the end of a paintbrush, whatever you want. And I'm just going to get some paint on the end of it. Some colors of paint are kind of thick, so you may need a little bit of water. And if you do, just put your little skewer down in the water and just mix it into the paint just a little bit. Not much. I'm just dipping it down, and what's left on the skewer is what I'm putting in. And so what I do is I usually like to do one or two beads at a time. So I'm going to put my bead down in there, and I'm going to use the skewer to just spin that bead around. And one reason I really like to use the skewer is because I can put it down into the hole of these beads. And when I pull it out, there you go. So what I do is I put it on something styrofoam. You don't want it to be on anything paper because it will stick to the paper. And then what I'll be able to do is when this dries out just a little bit, I will be able to actually put it in and spin it around again. And that way I won't, it'll be fully covered and I won't have to worry about it at all. It'll be good to go. So, and if you note, I've got several of the little cups that I've already used. So I do reuse those sometimes when they get kind of icky. I'll throw them away. But I'm also going to show you how to stain a bead. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to get some kind of brown paint. I don't use stain. I make stain. So I just use brown paint. You can use whatever color you want or whatever color you've got. Just make sure your skewer's real clean, and I just rinsed it off in a little water. And this one's going to be just a little bit different. We're going to put just a little bit of paint in our cup, but we're going to put a good bit more water. So I'm actually going to use the brush and just pick it up a couple of times and rub some in. And then I want to just run that around in there a little bit because you want it to be kind of watery because we just want it to stain the bead. We don't want it to make the bead clumpy like. And actually the stain always looks better to me if you do two coats. So this, I've just run it around in there, and that's what I'm going to pull out. It's going to look like that. And so I'm going to just put it down onto my styrofoam plate again. And I just like to rinse my skewer off. It keeps it nice and clean. I could do several beads in the paint that I put in each time. There's enough in there to do several different beads. So let me grab something to wipe that bead off with. Then what I'm going to do for the stain bead, I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to just kind of dry it off with a paper towel. I'm not going to rub it. I'm going to just put it in the paper towel and just pinch it together. And then when you pull it out, it's got kind of that stained look to it. I really want more. I'm not rubbing, I'm just dabbing. You don't want to rub it because then you're just rubbing the paint off. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that bead and I'm going to put it back down into my stain cup, and I'm going to roll it around some more. We want to coat it all up. And it's okay if some of it gets down on the inside. of the bead because it's going to be good and dry. This dries super fast too, so you don't really have to worry about it staying wet long. But you can do beads any kind of color. That's the cool thing about this. The beaded garlands are not hard to make. And like I say, the beads and everything come in my tiered tray kits. If you get one that's got like some wood in it, you can actually take that skewer and just kind of give it a little push, and it pushes that right out. I'm going to put it down into my white. I may have to add just a little bit more in here because I didn't have a lot and I let it dry out a little bit. But it just takes just a little bit. If you get too much paint in your cup, then your beads come out real clumpy looking with the paint. I prefer to do mine more than one time just to keep them having a smoother look. When you get that clumpy, globby look to them, that just means you had too much paint in your cup. And what you can do is just add a couple of more beads in there and do them until you use up some of that, and throw the one that's clumpy back in for just a few minutes and run it around in here, and it'll pull a lot of that paint off of it. So see the difference in the first bead, the first go round with it, and the second, the difference in the coverage. It's pretty great. So what I'm going to do with this stain bead right quick, I'm going to pick it up and give it a little dab and drop it. And so that's what my stain bead will be. Isn't that pretty? I'm not going to wipe the paint off of it. I'm just going to give it a little blot. And you can use these little styrofoam plates over and over again because, like I say, they are pretty versatile, where you can, the paint will dry up to them, and I've used one for a pretty long time before. We don't want the paint super watery in this one. We want to just, we want it a little bit, but not too watery. And then just dump it out. And that one had like a little place in the paint on it. So I'm going to pull that off. Oh, and it didn't even leave a spot. It came off of my skewer. All right, guys, so that is just a quick short tutorial on how to paint and stain a bead. So if you've got any questions, definitely let me know. I surely would appreciate it. If you don't already, come over and like our website and our Facebook page. We are White's Creative Designs on Facebook, and it's www.whitescreativedesigns on the internet. So come visit us, check out our door hangers, and we hope to talk and see you soon. Have a good evening. Bye.